Okay, I'm going to set my own 10-minute timer just in case I miss out. And also, I realize I'm the last talk today. Is the pizza hitting yet? We've got some energy still in the room? Okay, let's do it. So, what to do when your big bet feature fails? Quick question. Who cares about user acquisition? Put your hand up if you care about user acquisition. Cool. Who cares about user retention? Put your hand up if you give. Yeah? Okay, good. And who cares about delighting users? Okay, you are all PLG champions, okay? And if you're a PLG champion, what you're probably going to look at is how well are you retaining your users? And I went to my leadership team and said, hey, if we want to hit these targets, we've got to do something about retention. And they asked me, okay, so what's your best idea? So real quick, you can shout out, if you have a retention problem, what's the first big idea or feature that comes to you? No one, okay. You said you cared about retention. You guys are liars. Okay. Obviously, it's a loyalty program, especially if it's like an e-commerce play. You do loyalty, right? You want to reward users for shopping with you so that they come back. Of course, it makes a lot of sense. Explosions, and this is a not necessarily accurate recreation of me pitching that idea, but you can get the gist. So, how does it work? Just a quick high-level thing. It's cash back on every purchase in the form of points, so we had our own currency. We made sure the points expire to drive retention unless you spend or earn points, okay? So there was a little bit there. We set our expiry at 14 days because we had data that said if they did make a purchase within week 1, we have 75% chance of churning them. So 14 days, okay, seems interesting, might work, might not. And when we did some early UX research studies, the users are like, this is cool, I really enjoy this, let's do it, let's make it happen, right? Well, how did it go? Can you tell from the big red arrows, not the way I thought it was going to be? So somehow we did an A/B experiment and we actually had lower conversion rate, we had a lower return purchase rate, but somehow we increased average order value. So this retention feature became an acquisition feature, like what the F, right? So what do you do? Because this is your big feature. It took 7 months to build this thing. What do you do? So 2 things. You go back to being a product manager and you look at the problem as a quant and a qual. So when we're talking about quant, you want to zoom in. And in particular, if you're looking at that data, you want to see, okay, is there a trend around user segmentation? Is there something happening in your funnel? You want to really just zoom in. You also want to zoom out because there might be some trends that are happening on your platform and the way your users are behaving that has maybe nothing to do with your feature. Turns out, by the way, spoiler alert, retention was going down anyway. It's been going down for a while. And actually, I will get onto this a little bit later, but really, really interesting. Supporting data. Did you run any other experiments in the past, any case studies? Because there might be something there that indicates that what you're seeing isn't necessarily what you're seeing. There could be some, let's say, information that conflicts with what you're looking at. Then you want to do qual, because everything you build should be for the users, of course. So you go back to user feedback. I love to look at App Store reviews, but you might also have tools like Hotjar or any kind of session tracking software, so you want to look at that. You want to run surveys because you will find information there that's really interesting. People who are engaged with your feature, they will tell you where it's going wrong. And then, I already mentioned user behavior tracking. All right, I got ahead of myself, but there you go. So you can do all of those things, and you start to paint a picture of what's happening. So it turns out when we looked at the quant, we had some UX issues. So when you look at this is the high-level funnel here on the top. You have the control at the top and the test at the bottom. Sorry, it's really small for the people at the back, but I'll basically explain what's happening. Everything's fine until checkout. That's when it goes wrong. So something happened in the user experience that led to a drop. And it turns out, this is the design here you can see on the right. In the checkout page, the design team added something in, which was designed to educate the user about the feature, as what I call affectionately the orange blob. Turns out when we removed the orange blob with an A/B test, we increased conversion by 17%. So there was something there above the fold that stopped people from discovering things they needed to do. In terms of the other data we looked at, in the past, we'd also had run some CRM campaigns where we really heroed the loyalty points feature. And every time we focused on educating the users, actually, we improved the repeat purchase. So why is there a customer education here, a thing here? That's where the clues start coming in. Equally, when we did promo campaigns, I won't name the mobile game that it was for, but yeah, whenever we featured that as the incentive to make a purchase, it worked. So like, something's not adding up here, but you're starting to form hypotheses in your mind of what the issue is. When we looked at the qual, it got really interesting, and it turns out that literally these are real user quotes. People were complaining that the expiry was too short. Like they felt that whatever it was, we set it as 14 days. Half of them didn't even know it was 14 days because they kept saying 7 days is too short, 28 days is too short. So they didn't even know what it was. Certainly there was uncertainty, and that makes my second point, already hit home that they were unsure how long they had to spend their points, and that the cashback was too low. They wanted higher cashback rates. Also, when we surveyed them about the understanding of the feature, it turns out 65% of them did not understand how to acquire the points, use the points, or both. So that kind of thing that we saw in the quant, like, do they actually understand the feature, started to, come up. So from there, I had two hypotheses. One is, if we improve customer education, we can increase engagement and retention. My second hypothesis is, if we reduce friction to repurchase, we can increase repeat purchase. So that sounds very logical, doesn't it? So it turns out with this action plan, we did fix retention. So we improved the checkout user experience, we focused on customer education, we revamped the onboarding flow with welcome campaigns, a really nice landing page, and we tried to have all these little touch points in user experience that keep sort of saying this is how it works. We extended the expiry to 31 days because when we looked at the average number of days for a user's purchase, it was about 21. So I thought, you know what, we were driven by one data point, let's be more user-centric and go in a different way. We also had to look at problems before the problem. So even before you get to the retention part, there were some issues with the acquisition part. So when we fixed that, we then tended to find actually you'd have a follow-on effect as far as retention is concerned. And then lastly, it's just about resetting what success looks like, and I kind of touched on this earlier. So, and this is a phenomenon, when you increase your user acquisition, you will naturally lose users. Your retention goes down because you have new customers coming in who've never touched your product before. You're probably doing some UA somewhere, so they're trying to figure out if this product is for them or something that they want to be loyal with. And again, what this chart shows you here is that before the feature was launched, retention was going down. It was going down. We launched the feature, still going down, but then when we started fixing things, retention started leveling out. So, and the blue chart here is basically our user base. So essentially what we did was we managed to maintain retention while increasing user acquisition. So actually that's a win. So when we talk about resetting what success looks like, what I shouldn't have promised is, we need to get retention month to month to 75%. No, it's actually just keep it there. If you can hold it there while throwing more users in, that's good, right? I mean, that's great, in fact, I would say. And then, so let's talk about it in summary. So avoid the trap of the big bet feature unless your expectations are truly aligned with leadership. So that means, hey, we're going to invest a certain amount of time into this project. It's not going to work straight away. It's going to need optimization. So please stick with it. If you get unexpected results, remember, quant and qual, zoom in, zoom out, talk to your users, look at your data, form hypotheses, really important, and try to qualify them as quickly as possible. When we talk about managing upwards and managing leadership, do not present results unless you have a hypothesis and an action plan. It's not enough to say, it didn't work. No, you need to actually have shown that you're a pragmatic product manager, you have a plan, you know what's next, you already have early positive signals. That's what you actually want to show, that you're in control of the problem and you know what to do. And then that's the next point, which is, once you have that action plan, you must follow up. Give them updates, show progress, because then that's where the trust and the confidence comes from, right? And then sometimes it's right feature, wrong time. That can happen. So it's, again, you might have, if you're presented with a big problem, the natural reaction is, here's the big solution. Sometimes that isn't the right way to go. Sometimes it's still go for death by optimization. It's okay. It's fine to do that. And if you can, find time to then make sure all of these things are aligned before you go for your big features. And as I said, check the problems before your problem. I have 30 seconds left, so I'll just say, I'm Mahmoud. Thank you for listening to me. I did do product for 15 years before it was even called product management, so I'm very old. Feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
This is great.